So welcome to this another lecture on fuzzy logic. In this lecture, we'll talk about fuzzy implication rules. So let's start with it. As we had already stated that there are two types of fuzzy rules. A fuzzy rule can either be a fuzzy mapping rule or it can be a fuzzy implication rule. The fuzzy mapping rule can be represented as a fuzzy relationship between antecedent variable and the consequent variable. Okay, and this is normally created by the Cartesian product of its antecedent fuzzy condition and the consequent fuzzy conclusion. But a fuzzy implication rule, it describes a generalized logic implication, though it is also based on the fuzzy relationship, but that fuzzy relation needs to be constructed from the generalization of the implication of classical two-valued logic to the extended fuzzy set. Okay, so basically it is an implication. We'll just try to take the small example. Suppose we are having a fuzzy set temperature, fuzzy set of fuzzy variable temperature, and let that fuzzy set be classified as low, and the range would be 0 to 25 degrees centigrade of temperature. And let there be another fuzzy set of the output variable speed of the fan, which is slow and extending over the fuzzy interval 0 to 150 in RPM. So I have one fuzzy set low in the input variable space, and I have one fuzzy set slope in the output variable space extended from 0 to 150 RPM. So if I talk about a fuzzy mapping rule, it will say if temperature is low, then speed is slow. So this is very clearly a fuzzy mapping rule. But suppose I, in the mathematical terms or in the logical terms, draw a relationship that if input variable x belongs to the range 0 to 25, it implies y belongs to the range 0 to 150. So this is an implication that temperature is low, then my output range is that of fan speed slow. So this is an implication. Now you would think that they are so very similar. So what is the difference? When I talk about a fuzzy implication, it is very similar to fuzzy mapping rule when the condition of the antecedent is satisfied. So the behavior is quite similar. Okay, but the behavior it is different for a fuzzy implication rule and for a fuzzy mapping rule when the condition is not satisfied. To understand this, let's take a small example. So let's take a small example. Here I have my variable y, variable is axis, and I have my variable x, that is the input or the antecedent varying on this. Let the membership be 1 here, maximum, and let the value of membership be 1 here, which is maximum. So if I draw, so this is my bound in which I can have the variation of my variables x1. Now let a fuzzy set A be defined between this range. So let this range belong to A, or you can say let by input variable be divided over three fuzzy intervals A1, A and A2. Okay. Similarly, my output space be divided into three ranges, that is B2, this is B, and this is B1. Now I have only one fuzzy rule available with me which says if x is A then y is B. So what does this mean? So this typically means that if my x is varying between this range, then my y should be belonging to the range between p. So what I have is this. This is what is the implication of my fuzzy mapping rule. Okay, it means I am specifying that this is the variation or this is the relationship R which defines the partition identified by relationship R between my fuzzy sets A cross V given by its Cartesian product. So if X is not A, I cannot classify or I cannot deduce directly from this rule because I have not many partition of the space which is available on my input which is there, that is on my universe x cross y where A belongs. So rest of the partitions they are available for subtracting this. If my condition is for all this empty region that is available. But suppose I talk of fuzzy implication. In that case, again, I have the same variation, I have the same graph pairing between the two. So again, let's say I bound. So this is where my x is going to be 1 and this is where my y is going to be 1. Again, I divide my inputs and the output space. So let this be the bound for the set A. So this is B. So same partition I am creating just to make you understand what is the difference between the implication and what is the difference between the fuzzy mapping. So fuzzy mapping, we are very clear that we are bounded by the small rectangular which represents the relationship between the fuzzy sets A and B. So this is again my input space. Now in the fuzzy rule, I have actually assumed that if my input is A, my output can only belong to the range B. But in case of the implication, this is not the case. I am not bounding it. Rather, if I suppose that there is a rule which says if x is A1, then y is B1. If x is A2, yes, let it be A2. Yes, A2 or A3, whatever. So if x is A2, then my y is B2. Okay. So based on that, I can just conclude that if my x is belonging to the set A, okay, it is not only having the possibility of restricting it to the set B bounds, but all this input space which I am shading, that is available, which may be derived by other rules or they may be specified the other rules in the rule base. So basically here I am identifying only these two empty spaces which specifies that if x is A, I cannot have my values in this range which is corresponding to or which is there between the intersection of A and B2 and A and B1. Okay, rest all the possibilities are there. I can have the possibility of A going to this, I can have the possibility being mapped here, I can have the possibility of being mapping here. So actually in that implication, I have not closed my possibilities of A taking the value from the entire universe of discourse except that particular rule. So that is the difference between implication and mapping. So I hope you get. So if it is not A, so if it is not A, what do I have available with me? So what is the space which cannot be covered? This is the space which cannot be covered when X is not A, because that is already being mapped to classified under other rule, which is very clear to me. Rest, I am not bounding the values or the range of possibility of A taking the output from any of these partitions which I have shaded when X is A. Okay. So this is what implication is. So I hope it makes you clear what is the difference between fuzzy implication and the fuzzy mapping rule. Okay. So by fuzzy relation in this case, it has to cater to this. So fuzzy relationship should be able to capture this entire space. So with this understanding, we now try to revisit our fuzzy relationships and see why we even needed fuzzy implication. Consider the earlier example we had taken where there was a fuzzy set which specified the temperature and there was a fuzzy set which specified the speed of the fan. So we defined a relationship R between the temperature and the speed, which was given by this. So if I asked you, based on this relationship, I have derived this relation R between two fuzzy sets, temperature and speed. So if I take a discrete value or a particular value or a crisp value from this fuzzy set of temperature, that temperature is D. Corresponding to this, what is the speed of the fan I should set? So what is the answer? So though I have done the mapping between the input and the output space, I'm still not in the position to answer that what should be the speed, whether the speed should be X or it should be Y, it should be 150 RPM, it should be 300 RPM or it should be 220 RPM. I don't know, because I have the possibility distribution which says it can be it can vary between 0 to 150 rpm with a possibility of 0.5 and vary between 120 to 300 with a possibility of 0.6, because X and Y, they are two fuzzy sets. So I just have the possibility or the uh, what is the possible chances of my speed taking the value, but corresponding to a discrete value of the input, I cannot conclude the discrete value of the output by simply defining the relation between two fuzzy sets derived from the fuzzy rule base. So that doesn't allow me to conclude or achieve an output. So what is the solution for this? Or to give a better understanding, we'll again take the small example we had considered earlier when we discussed the fuzzy inference engine. In that case, I told you that if the input is, we are having a rule base which says if input is low, output is low. If input is medium, output is also medium. If input is high, my output is also is high. So output is fast. So these triangular membership functions, they are representing the output variables and these the input variables. This is the previous example we are talking. So in that we specified we are having a rule base already defined for a system. Now I have a particular input value coming to my system. So let us say that is 25-degree temperature. So once I have this, I would like to find what is the rules which are triggered from a rule base. So the rules which have been triggered were this first rule which formed the relation between low and slow, and the second rule which formed the relationship between medium and medium of input to output space. They both were triggered or they were both active. So I have the corresponding value of the membership functions of the input fuzzy sets, but how do I specify that what is the membership value of the set medium which has been triggered by this input value of 25. So I have put it as mu2, but how do I decide whether mu2 is zero point 0.7, zero point 0.6, zero point 0.5 or what? Similarly, what value is the degree of satisfaction which has been achieved by this output fuzzy set slow for my given input condition? How do I decide that my this uh, membership value has been associated when my input is 25 degree temperature? Okay, so I cannot decide on these values of mu1 and mu2 without any logic or methodology. So I'm still lacking that. So what is the solution to determine this mu1, mu2? So the solution on which the fuzzy mapping rules they depend is fuzzy graphs. We'll take an example of a single rule which says if temperature is high, then speed is fast. So let this be the trapezoidal membership function which is representing the fuzzy set high for the high temperatures, and let this be a triangular fuzzy set of the output variable speed which is for fast, extending between speed of the fan from 300 rpm to 350 rpm. Now in that, let's say my crisp value of the input comes out to be 39.8. Okay. Now corresponding to this, based on this rule, I want to get my output. I already have a relation R which is mapping the input space specified by this set high to the space in the output which is specified by this set fast. So let's see, at 39.8 I am able to achieve the membership in the input at 0.67 in the fuzzy set high. So to get the output membership value or the degree of fulfillment or the degree of satisfaction of of this output variable in the fuzzy set fast, I simply extend this value of membership from input towards the output fuzzy set. So I interpolate and I get this value of the membership of 0.67 at my output. So what is make use of fuzzy graphs for the fuzzy mapping rules for computing the inferred output value, because I need to have a corresponding membership value before I apply the aggregation of the different rules. So what is the degree to which this particular rule R1 or relation R1 has been satisfied for the input value which is applied to my system? Okay, so fuzzy implication does not make use of fuzzy graphs. It rather computes these values based on certain logic operations. Okay, so now we are clear on what is fuzzy mapping rules and fuzzy implication rules. So fuzzy mapping rules, first of all, they are bounding my possibility of output variable for input variable taking a particular values from a particular fuzzy set. Okay, whereas the possibility distribution of my output variable in the fuzzy implication is much larger than that of a fuzzy mapping rule. Second is, my fuzzy mapping rules, they are based on the fuzzy graphs. I need to use the fuzzy graphs to actually compute the degree of satisfaction or degree of fulfillment of a particular rule, or I can say the strength of the rule which is being satisfied with the help of fuzzy graphs, whereas fuzzy implication calculates this rule of the strength which has been activated by a particular input value with the help of the logic operations. Okay, so what is this logic operations? So this is based on the proposition logic. So next we come to is propositional logic. Propositional logic, it is based on the crisp logic of two valued logic, whereas predicate logic, it is extended form of proposition logic, which is extended to the fuzzy multivariate logic and used for drawing the inference based on fuzzy logic. So let's first familiarize ourselves with what is propositional logic. Consider this. Proposition logic has basic 5 symbols which stand for this operator. It stands for connective and it is given by the value minimum of T, P and T and T of Q. So what does this actually mean? Here P stands for a proposition and Q stands for a proposition. Okay, and T of P denotes the truth of the proposition P, that is whether it is true or not, because it is crisp logic we are talking about. So crisp can either be true or it can be false. So when I say proposition means it is a statement. Okay, and T of Q, that is going to give me the truth value of proposition Q. So the connective and, it is a logical and it is giving me the minimum of the truth values of both propositions P and Q. Next we come to is connective or. Or stands for maximum of the uh, truth values of two propositions P and Q. Okay, so if there is an or connective between two propositions, it is, let's say, so if I have, so I have two propositions P and Q. So P and Q, this statement, it is equivalent to minimum of the truth values of proposition P and Q. Next for or connective, I have, let's say there are two propositions which are connected through or. So that case I get the maximum of the value. Let's say T of P for a crisp set. So if T of, I'll put C for denoting it for a crisp set. So if T of P for any proposition, it is 1, and for a crisp logic, not set, crisp logic proposition, Q has the truth value 0. So please note one thing, here C stands for crisp. Okay, so here if and connective is applied, what is my answer going to be? So it is going to take the minimum is 0. Next, for the connective or, it is going to consider the maximum. So maximum is that of P. So that is going to be 1. So that is, let's say, apply to proposition P. So lot of P is going to give me equal to 0. Next we have is implication. That is P implies Q. So that is going to be given by 1 minus 1, that is 0, and here we have 0. So 0 and 0, it is going to be 0. Okay, so equality is when the two propositions are equal, they are said to be equal only when their truth values they are going to be equal. Okay, so this was the propositional logic of two valued crisp logic. Okay, the same is extended to the fuzzy logic for drawing the inferences. So for that we consider this case that if temperature is high, it is, let's say, representing a fuzzy proposition P with a truth value of 0.8. So in case of fuzzy logic proposition, what we are doing is we are extending the range of 0, 1 to a degree between 0, 1. So instead of acquiring the value of either 0 or 1, it can acquire any value between 0 and 1. So I assigned it a truth value of 0.8. Next, there is a proposition Q which is having the truth value of 0.5. So let's say if there is a relation between these two propositions as if temperature is high, so it rains. Okay. So here it means what? I take means there is an implication. So I can infer something, I can imply something. So this is how we are going to use it for inference in my fuzzy logic. So that is, now what is implication operation? That is given by 1 minus T of P and T of Q. So I take the maximum of that. So 1 minus truth of P is zero point 0.8 and truth of Q is 0.7. So what I get here is 0.2. So what is the minimum from 0.2 and 0.7? I'm sorry, maximum, that is going to be 0.7. So it means the implication is giving me the value. This fuzzy logic implication based on propositional logic is going to give me 0.7. So this can be base of my fuzzy implications, which is based on generalized logic operations based on propositional logic. So I can just give you a few examples. Consider a proposition P that says weather is pleasant and let the truth value be 0.8. Consider another proposition Q which is it is raining and the truth value is 0.6. So we can infer weather is not pleasant. So what does that mean? From that I can compute or imply the truth value of this statement is 1 minus truth of proposition P which says weather is pleasant. So it is complementing. So this is equivalent to complement of proposition P. So that gives me 0.8. Next is weather is pleasant and it's raining. So I have both the propositions and there is and connective. So I have a logical and between them which gives me the minimum of the two values. So minimum, if I take the truth value of P is 0.8 and this is 0.6. So answer is 0.6. Then the next statement is weather is pleasant and there is no rain. So it means my first proposition P is true but my proposition Q is not true. So first thing is I will compute the value of not true of Q. So that is 1 minus 0.6, that is 0.4. Now I will apply the AND connective between them which computes the minimum of the values. So it is 0.8 and 0.4 which gives me the minimum to be 0.4 and hence this is the truth value of this statement or this implication we are having. Okay, so this is how propositional logic it is going to work. But propositional logic is inadequate when it comes to capturing of the uh, linguistic variation or the linguistic variables representing the fuzzy sets. That we'll see in next logic, and for that what do we do to change or extend this propositional logic? We'll talk about that in the next lecture. Thank you so much.